2 days, 2 gun control bills passed in the House of Representatives. Today, the House passed H.R. 1112, which will close the so-called Charleston Loophole that allowed Dylan Roof to buy a gun he used to kill 9 people at Mother Emanuel AME Church in 2015. Yesterday, the House passed H.R. 8, which requires universal background checks on all firearms sales in the country. H.R. 8 was the first piece of gun control legislation passed in the House in 25 years. Congresswoman Lucy McBath was one of H.R. 8's co-sponsors. Listen to this.
After my son's death, I dedicated my entire life to advocating for common sense gun safety solutions. H.R. 8 will ensure that mothers and fathers have one less reason to worry. It will give students one less thing to fear when they walk into a school. Most importantly, it will make our communities and our nation a safer place to live, and every human being in America deserves such.
Congresswoman McBath joins us now. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
It is indeed an honor and a
me.
pleasure to
thank
have you here.
Very much.
You've been working on this gun control legislation for a long time, right? The one that passed. First, you're an advocate. Then as a congressman. Your son Jordan was killed in 2012 at the age of 17 for playing rap music in a car at a gas station parking lot. Obviously very personal to you. What does this mean to you?
Well, it's very surreal. The fact that I've spent so much time and effort as an advocate building this grassroots movement and, organizing, for safer gun laws, and then actually now to be a part of really pushing forth this very policy that I've worked on with Mike Thompson as an advocate is really pretty surreal. It's very bittersweet, though, because
do you think it's bittersweet because it won't pass the Senate, or for another reason?
It's bittersweet for 2 reasons. One, because I wasn't able to save my own child. And so many other victims I've not been able to save, because every day over 100 people are dying unnecessarily to the extremist gun culture. But 2, because this bill, this legislation may very well not pass the Senate. But what I do know is that we've achieved a great victory. We have done something that hasn't been accomplished before in a bipartisan manner for specifically this federal background checks and also closing the loophole. And so it has been a victory, and we're not responsible for the response from the Senate Republicans. We're still responsible for making sure that we're doing what's right no matter what.
And it's progress. First in 25 years.
Absolutely.
Can I just read this, because just a couple weeks ago on Jordan's birthday, here's what you tweeted. You said, "Jordan, you are my strongest ally and will forever be my best. Today you turned 24, but the impact of your story will last forever." Do you think, going back to your previous answer, do you think the tide has turned in this country where it's possible that legislation like this can get passed to stop the horror of gun violence?
The culture is slowly changing. The fact that I sit here as a United States Congresswoman from Georgia's 6th Congressional District, which is a very red state, and of course we have a lot of law-abiding gun owners in our state. The fact that I am sitting here now, and I ran on a platform of guns, as other of my colleagues, my freshman colleagues, have done the same, is a testament to the fact that the culture is changing, that people have decided enough is enough, and that they want to make sure that their children's lives are preserved, they have a future without the fear of being gunned down unnecessarily.
I want to ask you about other duties as your role as a congresswoman, because Congressman Mark Meadows has been getting a lot of criticism for using he asked Lynn Patton, an official at HUD, to stand up at the Cohen hearing as an example that President Trump is not a racist. What was your reaction to that?
It was somewhat disturbing to me, because I just really was disturbed that they were using, I believe, a woman of color to validate whether or not President Trump is a racist. And I just think it was disturbing to me. I believe if you have to bring someone forth and say, this is proof that someone's not a racist, why are you having to validate that?
Yeah. After that incident happened, there was a video that surfaced of Meadow in 2012 promising to send President Obama back to Kenya. He insisted today that he doesn't have a racial bone in his body. But does this, and then there's also another video of him saying the same thing. But does this highlight the disconnect over racial issues in this country, you think?
It most certainly does. We think that we've come so far, but I think the fact that President Obama was in office for 8 years probably has been a precipice for a lot of the underlying racial tensions that we've had in this country that are now coming to fruition.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I think this is not a partisan issue. Anytime you see diversity, right, there are not a lot of women who were in the roles of Senate and Congress or whatever, you know, not as many as should be. And now, you know, you have this gun legislation. You have your other freshmen who are taking the lead on a lot of issues. The internet went wild with this photo. Put this up of 3 freshmen on oversight yesterday: Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib. I saw that there were really funny memes, great, like which music group are they in? Who, you know, these are superstars, what have you. How do you feel about the part that about you making real change from a different generation and people with a different perspective in leadership roles in Washington right now?
I think it's an exciting time for us. I think that this is showing that the face of what I've always said, you know, is considered a credible public servant or a credible person to be able to lead politically is changing. The face of the freshman class is a testament to the fact that we represent democracy. That's what democracy looks like. It's such an exciting time because I'm in a class of the, you know, most diverse class that we've ever had. I'm in a class of, you know, the most number of women that have ever been elected, and I'm in a class that has the most number of women of color that have ever been elected. So this is what democracy looks like. And we come with very diverse backgrounds, ideologies, but one thing I know is that we're coming to work. We're coming to work. We haven't tried to pave a path to being a politician and getting our way to Washington. We've decided to stand up. We've been very involved in our communities. We've been very involved as activists, as change makers within our own communities. And now all we're doing is translating that here to Washington, acting on behalf of the people that put us in office. And they expect us to champion for them.
You did it. America is proud of you. We're so proud of you. Thank you for all of the hard work that you do. Best of luck. Please come back anytime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congresswoman. And I talked about this at the top of the show.